Thank you all for being here today. I want to remind you that we're here in large measure because of the League of Women Voters of Linn County. Thank you for all of the volunteers of that organization that put on this event and many other events in our community. The League is an entity that's really an educational organization. The mission of the League is to share unbiased, nonpartisan, fact-based information with members and our community in Linn County so that people can participate in the process of democracy. So thank you, and let's give a round of applause to the League of Women Voters. We'd also like to recognize those elected officials who are in the audience today for the 29th anniversary of the City of Marion's State of the City. If you could all rise and be acknowledged, please. I believe Mayor O'Donnell was here. She may have left already. She's going to be speaking elsewhere for the recognition of today being International Women's Day. So that's a good reason to run out of the audience quickly. And not that I was saying anything about the mayor's speech or anything. This was not a comment on the speech. All right, let's also thank our sponsors today. We have gold sponsors: Alliant Energy, the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Buildings and Construction Trades Council, Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation, Hawkeye Area Labor Council, Mid-American Energy, and Simmons Perrine Moyer Bergman PLC. Please thank them for putting on this event. If you attend League of Women Voters events, you know that we often allow time for questions. So there are pens, papers, they're yellow on your table. If you want to pose a question, please write your question down, raise your hand, and a member of the League of Women Voters will bring that up, and we'll see if we can fit some in. Now with that, it's my honor to let you know that I've actually been usurped in this role. Yep, it's true. And I think the person who's usurping me might have like a little insider knowledge on how to get this job. And you know it pays so much, by the way. So it's my privilege to introduce the person who will be introducing the mayor today. And his name is Andrew AbouAssaly. He's 16 years old. He's been campaigning for about a month to get this position. Andrew is a junior at Linn-Mar High School. He's involved in student council, football, track, vocal music, and show choir. He's obviously proud of his father, and he must be a tremendous young man that he's willing to get in front of a crowd of 500 people to introduce his father. Most people wouldn't want that job. So let's all give a round of applause to Andrew.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I promise I'm going to keep this short because I know most of you have to get back to work after this, and I have to get back to chemistry class. So, my name is Andrew AbouAssaly, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Mayor Nick for nearly 17 years now. While brainstorming what I was planning to say about my dad, I was reminded of something we talk about on my football team. My coach has always emphasized the importance of giving 110% and the question, what are you willing to do to separate yourself apart from others? For some people, this may be very difficult. However, for my dad, this has never been an issue because in my eyes, it has been the only option for him. A funny memory stirs of when I was in 3rd grade and I came home one day with no homework. My dad asked me why, and my response was simple. It was too easy for me. Big mistake. Instead of congratulating me, he decided that he should give my teacher a phone call without letting me know, telling her that I needed to be challenged more. The next day, I went to school and was greeted with a big packet called Little Einstein Advanced Schooling, which was full of higher level math and science problems that I was told to solve on top of my regular schoolwork. Now, At that time, I was frustrated because I thought this was punishment for being too smart. It wasn't until around 7th grade when I realized that what he did for me not only set me up for my future education, but he set an example for me on how you should always go to the extra step to advocate yourself, to separate yourself apart from others. Now, as a junior and getting ready to go into my senior year of high school, I see this attribute in my dad more than I ever have. Countless nights I have seen my dad make phone calls or send emails to people about topics going on in the city and what they can do to take the extra step to reach higher. His investment and dedication behind the scenes is 110%, and it is what separates him from other leaders and what separates Marion from other growing cities. He truly is a superhero, balancing 3 full-time jobs as mayor, attorney, and what I would hope is his favorite, a father. I am very honored that he chose me to introduce him today at this special event. So let's get to it. Mayor Nick graduated from Linn-Mar High School and went on to get degrees in both finance and law at the University of Iowa. Following law school, he served as an in-house attorney for Exxon down in Houston, Texas for a few years. However, he moved back to Marion in 1995 in order to be closer to his family and to make a greater impact on the community. Since then, he has been a nonstop participant and advocate for the well-being of the greater Marion area, including serving on many boards and committees, and even being named Marion Citizen of the Year 2008. Along with this, he is an attorney and is a partner with Simmons Perrine Moyer Bergman Law Firm and specializes in real estate law, and has been recognized by his peers as one of the nation's best real estate attorneys. For the last 6 years, he has been recognized by the Corridor Business Journal as one of the area's most influential people, topping the list in 2018 and 2020. In 2014, he was selected as a city council member, and in 2016, he was elected for his first term as mayor of Marion and was re-elected in 2020 for a second term. Now, it is with great honor and extreme pride that I welcome to the stage my father and superhero, Marion Mayor Nick AbouAssaly.
Thank you, Andrew. This is the absolute truth. I had no idea what he was going to say. And we were talking about a month ago if he was even going to be able to make it this event, and he asked me who was going to introduce me. We were joking around, and I said, oh, you should do it. And the very next day, I'm at work, and I got a text, and he said, if you're serious about that, I would like to do it. I find out later that he had woken up at 4 in the morning with his mind racing. Does that sound familiar? Whose kid is he? His mind was racing, and he wrote it all down at 4 in the morning. Love you, Andrew. Thank you all for choosing to spend your lunch hour with us today and sharing in our celebration of our city's progress. We're grateful for this opportunity and your attendance here today. Before we start, I'd like to wish all of you a happy International Women's Day. Please take the time today to recognize and honor the achievements of important women in your life. You know, human potential is the most valuable resource on our planet. Barriers limit and squander that potential, and humankind loses. Our world is better off when everyone, whatever their sex, age, ethnicity, ability, is able to achieve to their fullest potential. We need to continue striving for that world. A few thank yous before we begin. Thank you to the League of Women Voters, of course, for partnering with us on this event for 29 years. I really appreciate all the effort they put into it and their dedication every year to make it successful. Thank you to the Marriott for hosting us. And I also need to thank Amber Bissinger. Amber does all the things in our city that people think just magically happen. She does so much for this event and for me throughout the year. I don't know if I could serve in this role without her and still have a full-time job. Amber, you're a valued colleague and friend wherever you are. Here you are. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you to my wife, Christiane, and my partners at Simmons Perrine, who support me in this role and make it possible for me to do something that I love so much and care so deeply about. Welcome to all of you, all elected officials, school district representatives, economic development partners, all our friends from throughout the metro and the region who are with us today. Thank you for supporting our progress, for being part of our growth, and helping drive the opportunities that we're creating to create a region where people want to be and businesses want to be. Welcome to anyone who is here in the room as an investor, a developer, a business owner, stakeholders, volunteers. All of you are part of our team, and you're helping us to advance our vision for our town in countless ways, and we're grateful. If you're reaching higher with us, we're happy to have you on our team. And welcome to my colleagues on the City Council. Mayor Pro Tem Grant Harper, Council members Sarah Menser, Colette Atkins, Will Brandt, Steve Jensen, and Randy Sternad. I might be biased, but in my humble opinion, I have the pleasure of serving and leading with the Dream Team. Each of these council colleagues brings unique experience, expertise, and value to our team. They're good decision makers who take their job seriously. They're engaged in their community. They love their town, and they have no agenda except to see Marion thrive. I want to thank them for their great work, their support of me in my role, and for allowing me to lead. Our council has the pleasure of working alongside a group of dedicated women and men who make us proud every day. They're led by City Manager Ryan Waller, who's doing a fantastic job. Ryan's been on our team for almost a year and a half and is already making his mark on our city organization and our city in general. It's no secret that I'm a big champion for our Reaching Higher motto. Ryan takes this way too seriously. I don't know how many more times I can do that. Ryan and I, it's very strange. We see eye to eye on most things. It's a bit scary having somebody walking around talking like me, saying the same things I would say. We almost finish each other's sentences. I send an email. He says, I was just about to send that email. I know exactly what he's thinking. We have the same approaches to everything. I'm convinced we share a brain. But he likes to say that we're separated at birth. If that was the case, then it's very obvious. He got the height. But we all know who got the good looks. Ryan leads a team of people who truly get it. They recognize the impact their work has on the lives of people. And they not only provide the excellent services that residents expect, but they go much further to ensure our city is a place where people have amazing opportunities to achieve their goals and enjoy their lives. They seek excellence in everything they do. They strive to add value in everything they do, and they raise the bar for themselves and others in everything they do. Just take a look at the annual reports on your tables or read the quarterly magazine that goes to each Marion home to see how they reach higher every day. I'm so proud of them, and I'm privileged to represent this entire team of more than 300 people on this stage today to share their work and their accomplishments. Please join me in thanking all the members of Team Marion. Okay, friends, I know that many of you in this room feel the way I do. Lucky to be here at this pivotal time in Marion's history. We're experiencing the exciting transformation of one of Iowa's oldest towns from an ordinary, nondescript place to one of Iowa's most notable, most celebrated communities. 10 years ago, our city adopted a brand and set out to be the best place in Iowa to raise a family and grow a business. That's our brand, in case you haven't heard it. Soon after that, at this event, I challenged us all to go beyond viewing that brand as a simple marketing tool, but to adopt a resolute standard of excellence and stop settling for good enough. I challenged us to embrace our brand as a guiding star and reach higher in everything we do so that we can become, in fact, the best place in Iowa to raise a family and grow a business. Consider all we've accomplished since that time. Are we there yet? What do you think? Hold that thought. The road hasn't been easy, and despite many obstacles, despite the naysayers, despite the doubters, and despite the pressure to accept what others think is good enough for Marion, we focused on seeking excellence, dreaming bigger, pursuing a greater vision of what our town can and should be. And after years of dreaming, promoting and guiding that vision, I'm so grateful, as I know many of you are, to be here at this moment, seeing the vision materialize. We're making the vision a reality, and in the process raising the bar and impacting people's lives in very meaningful ways. Our vision is anchored in a very simple philosophy. We exist to serve people and give them great opportunities. Sounds obvious, but it would be easy to lose sight of that and simply just go to work, do our job, and return home every day. But we recognize the higher purpose of serving and helping people solve issues and achieve their goals. This is why Marion has grown by more than 18% in the past decade and is now the 13th largest city in the state and the 3rd largest in the region. By the way, who knows how Marion ranks nationally? We're the 1,037th largest city in the nation. Woo! We pride ourselves on excellent services we provide to residents, and we go further by prioritizing quality of life and quality of place. This ethos guides our work and drives us to reach higher and achieve more. This is what sets Marion apart, and this has become the Marion Way. The Marion Way is defined by a commitment to being the drivers of our own destiny and a commitment to asking for the best and expecting the very best for our town and the people who call it home. The Marion Way is embodied in a responsive city government, outstanding schools, an amazing community, and a string of recent accomplishments from a world-class fire station to world-class sports facilities to a world-class public library. It's evident in beautiful streets, beautiful trails, and beautiful parks. It's evident in our award-winning amphitheater, our award-winning Uptown Artway, and our award-winning YMCA and Community Rec Center. Our commitment to higher quality, investing in the things the community desires, and giving people amazing opportunities has been the game changer, putting Marion on the map and making it a preferred place where people and businesses want to be. Yes, this is a great time for Marion, and the Marion Way is how we are day by day delivering on our promise to give Marion's residents an unequaled quality of life. Take a look at this video.
We were having a conversation with our children, and our teenage son looks at my wife and I and says, "You know what, Mom, Dad, you are right." And we had this crazy reaction, because what teenage boy tells his parents that they were right? And we're like, "Well, what are you referring to, Hayden?" And he says, "You were right about Marion. This is the best decision for our family."
All of our city leaders are raising their own families in this community, and so they want it to be the best that it can be. And everybody takes a lot of pride in building great amenities.
Our job as a city is to serve people and to give them a great quality of life, and that's what Marion is committed to. We don't have the natural features or the weather that attract people to live in places, and people today choose where they want to live and then they look for a job. It's important that we worry about aesthetics and we worry about quality and we worry about amenities, because those are the things that give people that impression of this is a place where I can see myself living, raising my family.
When you think about the size of Marion, we're 42,000 plus, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like community. And the reason being, because we're investing in things like trails, we're investing in parks, we're investing in a library, we're looking at a new aquatic center, all the things that bring people together and have them feel that sense of community.
I remember when we were first talking about visioning, when we were talking about brainstorming and things like that, like think big and hairy ideas, nothing is too big. And then our first set of ideas with Imaginate was new YMCA, new expanded library, expand our trails. And I remember a councilman saying, those aren't that big, and those are kind of just normal community amenities that everybody should have. And we all kind of looked at each other and said, yeah, we have a lot of work to do. So I feel like Imagine 8 kind of got us to a base level that was really solid and really good. And then with Imagine Next, we were able to dream a little bit bigger, and there's a lot of great amenities that are gonna be coming on. I feel like we're really just getting started in Marion, and we're gonna continue to dream big and do great things.
The trajectory of Marion is pretty much vertical. We're well on our way. And I think the thing that really separates Marion from other communities is that we deliver on the promise, that we put these plans together. We make sure that the plans are developed by engaging the community, so it's got the people's voice in it. And then we take that, and we don't just put it on a shelf where it collects dust. We're actively working to implement it. As I've gotten to know Mayor Nick over the last year plus, spent a lot of time talking about vision. He's such a positive ambassador for the community. We talk about an editorial that he wrote back in 2009, talking about what could be. And here we are today, is being implemented. And it's being implemented very well.
Our reason for existence as a city is to serve people and to give them amazing opportunities for an amazing quality of life. And if we keep that focus, I think that Marion will continue to grow, continue to prosper and thrive, and to be the place where people and businesses want to be. And truly, the sky is not the limit. We have endless opportunity, and I'm just excited to see where it's going to take us. The Marion Way is helping us deliver on our promise of a vibrant community. A perfect example of this is the Uptown Artway, the Uptown Streetscape project that began in 2021 and was completed last fall after more than a decade of planning. The attractive, pedestrian-friendly atmosphere feeds a more positive image of Marion with residents and visitors alike. It tells people that we care about our town, and it makes us all feel good about where we live. See, that's the foundation and the true game changer when a community that loves their Marion address makes everything possible. The Streetscape project is part of our master plan for reinvigorating the city's core and encouraging redevelopment of the Central Corridor in a manner that expands the uptown footprint and creates a vibrant, dynamic central business district. The city's planning and execution of our long-term vision plays a key role in igniting energy and driving forward momentum. The significant public investment in infrastructure and quality of place gives the private sector confidence to follow suit, driving progress and enabling the renaissance of the historic city core to a vibrant regional destination for dining, shopping, and entertainment, as well as a great place to live and work. Who remembers what Uptown was like, or the level of activity there even 5 or 6 years ago? Anyone? Yeah, let's just say there was plenty of parking. The new 7th Avenue is no ordinary city street. It's built with fewer curbs and special lighting, allowing it to be closed to traffic and used for large community events. The crowning jewel of the project is the North Plaza, featuring beautiful landscaping, seating areas, and fire tables. The plaza is a connection between the Artway on the north and the city square on the south, creating an attractive walkable district that encourages people to spend time and enjoy all that Uptown has to offer. The closure of streets and sidewalks over a 2-year period would normally be expected to result in the loss of some businesses. In fact, 25% is a figure I've heard commonly used, but not in Marion. Our planning for the street closure began nearly a decade ago when we built Uptown Artway to create attractive back entrances to the businesses. This, combined with a well-planned and executed program of collaboration and communication with the business owners and a supportive community, resulted in 100% business retention. The Communications and Business Support Initiative was recognized with an award from Main Street, Iowa, and earned the Uptown Director and our City Communications Manager an invitation to share our story on a national stage at the Main Street America Conference later this month. What a great example of how we reach higher and raise the bar, the Marion Way. Doubling down on our promise to energize the heart of the city, we recently opened the doors of the new Marion Public Library. Who has not seen that library? Please go visit it. If any person asks, why do we need libraries anymore? They clearly haven't seen this facility. All they need to do is stop by and see the line of people waiting at the door on Saturday morning, or the rush of students after school on weekdays. For years, we've needed a new library that is right-sized for our city and that meets today's demands for technology and amenities. For years, we'd heard from residents about their desire for public facilities that offer programming for all age groups. Well, here you have it. This new library is a community center, and I believe a prototype for new libraries. Yes, there are still books and traditional library services, and there's access to the latest technology, a library of things, much needed meeting spaces, and a variety of learning opportunities for all people. From the demonstration kitchen and the recording studio, to the green screen room and the video gaming room, from the 3D printer to the makerspace and the artist studio, and from the children's play area to the teen room, this is a place of access and a place where community happens. Prior to the pandemic and the derecho, our library was the 6th busiest in the state of Iowa. I have no doubt that before long, this new facility will reach and exceed that level. On behalf of our entire community, I want to thank the many contributors who saw the value and need for this facility and helped us to exceed our capital campaign goal. See, the campaign included funding for a mobile library also, which will allow even more exceptional service to take place by taking technology and library services into neighborhoods and senior living facilities. It's about access. The Marion Public Library is a true reflection of a city committed to serving people and impacting lives. And we're delivering in a big way on our promise of the best recreational amenities that enhance opportunities for enjoying the outdoors and improving people's physical and mental well-being. In 2022, we expanded our network of more than 35 miles of trails with the completion of side paths along a 2-mile stretch of Highway 151, allowing safe pedestrian access from neighborhoods to the retail and service options in that commercial corridor. And I'm pleased to announce that the project was named Iowa's Best Recreational Trails Project for 2022. Sure, go ahead. We hope you'll all join us at our ribbon-cutting ceremony this spring for the recently completed Indian Creek Trail, a north-south connection in our trails network that follows a scenic path along the creek through the entire community. And in July, we were joined by friends and trails enthusiasts from throughout the region for the opening of our beautiful new pedestrian bridge across 7th Avenue. Who remembers what the former bridge looked like? Allow me to remind you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's no more perfect example of our drive to do better. The initial design proposed by the consultant was nice, but fell short of our reaching higher standard. Even though it meant delaying the project, we wanted to do it right. So we went back to the drawing board, put out a national call for artists that resulted in the bridge we see today. But it's not yet completed. The council recently approved a contract for the major decorative lighted elements to complete the artist's initial plan, which will make this bridge a landmark along the Seymour Trail and an attractive entryway feature at the city's front door. We're expanding on our promise with an update to the long-term master plan for Lau Park, improvements at Hanna Park, the build-out of Prairie Hill Park, continued progress toward a new aquatic center, and the recent adoption of the Indian Creek master plan. Todd Stegerwalt took me on a canoe ride years ago and showed me that Indian Creek is one of the most beautiful ways to experience Marion. Andrew was with me, remember that? Today, through the work of a steering committee, we're finally recognizing the creek as an asset and making it an amenity. The plan adopted in 2022 identifies 9 areas for improvements that will, over the next decade, make the creek more accessible to more people for recreation, fishing, or simply sitting and enjoying the sight and sound of the water and the natural surroundings. And this year, we're kicking the cool factor up a notch with the construction of our new Central Plaza. For decades, the park in the city square has been declining in importance and use as other much larger parks and outdoor amenities have been added to the city. Currently, this space is visited mostly for large events such as concerts and festivals. It's no longer functioning as a traditional park, and it's time to reimagine it. With the endorsements of the state of Iowa in the form of a $3 million Destination Iowa grant, the most prominent space in our city will be rebuilt in a manner that makes it an attractive destination and central gathering space year-round. The Depot Pavilion will be enclosed and include new restrooms and event space. The Central Plaza will feature public art, water amenities, and seating areas. And in winter, a large part of the plaza will be converted to a refrigerated ice skating loop. If not the first, one of the first in Iowa. The promise of this project for elevating our town has generated great excitement throughout the community, but no one, absolutely no one, is more excited about it than Councilmember Sarah Menser. We heard over and over again in steering committee meetings and in council meetings how she grew up in Minnesota, where I believe it or not, ice skating is very popular apparently in Minnesota. I can only imagine the grand visions in Sarah's mind about how she's going to show off her skills on that ice. As for me, I have much lower expectations. Colette and Grant, I need your help. Yeah. And I imagine Ryan Waller also has grand visions. Me, well, not so much. And poor Steve Jensen. As for Will and Randy, they're fighting over who gets to drive the Zamboni. If all goes as planned, we hope to have a ribbon-cutting ceremony before the end of this year, so you don't want to miss that celebration. Once again, all who support progress in our region can be part of this project. Everyone in this room understands the issues we're facing as a state with brain drain and talent attraction. We don't have the natural features or weather that attract people as other places do. Investments in quality of place and amenities increase our ability to compete for the talent we need to power our economy. So today we're kicking off the Central Plaza Capital Campaign. Campaign materials are placed at each of your tables. This is how you can help our region shine and become more attractive for people and businesses. Of course, no contribution is too small, but let's flip that. No contribution is too large. This is an investment in the cool factor of our region, so we need your help. Please help us out. And I'm trying to raise more money than Jill Ackerman, so see me first, and I'll be happy to discuss opportunities with you. Please consider supporting the project. 2022 was a monumental year for delivering on our commitment to Marion's history. The 2020 derecho rendered the historic Marion Methodist Church building unusable and in dire disrepair. The church congregation moved to another location and could no longer afford to carry this facility. The original building was constructed in 1895. Its bell tower remains today one of the tallest structures in our city and an iconic feature of its skyline. More importantly, the families, the friendships, the memories that filled that building with life bridge the entire history of Marion. Add to that the building's commanding presence in our small historic commercial district, and you have a very compelling case. If you ask me what issues kept me up at night over the past couple years, well, I would tell you that the prospect of seeing this building demolished was definitely one of them. Losing this building would be an irreversible setback for our progress. We were encouraged to give up. Some questioned why it even mattered. Experts told me we wouldn't be able to stop the demolition, and even if we did, there was only a 10% chance we'd find someone willing to buy the building and take on the massive task of restoring it. They had no idea who they were saying that to. I want to thank those who answered the call, particularly Brooke and Jill. I gave them no choice. They answered my multiple calls and texts from me daily. We put in the time, explored every possible option, and kept the urgency alive. We succeeded in holding off the demolition twice as potential buyers worked to strike a deal. And finally, at the 11th hour, literally just a few days before the wrecking ball was going to start, our exhaustive search across the Midwest resulted in Conlin Construction purchasing the property. Conlin's current plan for the newer additions are to be demolished and replaced with new construction, but the historic sanctuary and the bell tower will be restored and repurposed. The building is not out of the woods yet, however, and hurdles remain, but for now, this community jewel has improved chances not only to remain standing, but to contribute, and if done right, even drive the trajectory of progress in Uptown. I really believe that. The prospect of losing the church building brought to the forefront the importance of historic preservation and how truly vulnerable our older structures are. Yet these buildings embody the soul and unique flavor of our community and any community. Without them, we would be any town USA. In a town like Marion, the oldest existing town in Linn County, and older than the state of Iowa, we should celebrate our rich history and honor our historic buildings. Personally, I wanted to prove that historic buildings can be saved, and progress doesn't have to be at their expense. They can play a role in a bright future. They can add value and even drive economic development, and they're worth the extra effort. See, often success is found in that one additional phone call or the little extra effort we're willing to put in when others think they've done enough. This is a sweet victory for the community, and of any success that I've been blessed to share in, this one definitely felt good is one of the most meaningful. To top it off, it was deeply gratifying during our strategic planning session last summer when our city team recommended and the city council unanimously approved making historic preservation a strategic goal of our city. This is a significant step that gives me and our community great hope. I want to acknowledge and thank Team Marion for that on behalf of Marion's residents, past, present, and future. Now, further delivering on our commitment to history, we recently unveiled plans for the next amazing community asset in our growing system of parks and trails. This new linear park will be a dedicated space on the former Milwaukee Road right-of-way, highlighting and celebrating our city's rich past as a railroad town. Few people know the full impact of the railroad on Marion's early development, and many newer residents don't know that Marion was, until 1971, a major stop on the Milwaukee Road for both passenger trains and freight trains. The park will help us to tell that story in an appropriate setting. Its central feature will be the beloved caboose that will be relocated from City Square. The new setting will give the caboose greater context, among other railroad artifacts and educational installations, to present more fully the story of Marion's early development as a railroad hub. Now, turning to economic development, we're committed to our promise of a strong economy full of opportunity for all. As our city grows and becomes its own urban center, business owners have figured out that investing in Marion makes good business sense. They're attracted by the city's progressive, solutions-oriented approach. They're attracted by the reaching higher and can-do attitude, and they're attracted by the positive outlook and momentum we're experiencing. All of this spells opportunity. We're now seeing unprecedented interest from local and out-of-state investors. We welcome commercial development as it helps to diversify our tax base and provides the services Marion's residents need, as well as jobs in the community. And we welcome partners who share our vision for excellence with projects that are best suited for our town and that will add value and not detract from what we are accomplishing. Let's watch this next video.
I really feel that we're just at the beginning of achieving Marion's full potential. It's taken a lot of planning. People now see the importance of having a vision and the importance of dreaming and what it can achieve.
Development isn't something that you create a plan and you say, poof, we have new investment and we have new amenities. It's a long-term activity. And I think that's the beauty of Marion is we spend the time to imagine, to dream, to plan, to build a blueprint, and then we really stick to that and work together with the private sector to help align private sector goals with really the desires and expectations of the broader community.
I think if we don't celebrate who we were, where we've come from, then we're really kind of just anywhere USA. This is the heart of the community. This was the heart of the community. This is where people gathered. This is where people came to shop, to dine. They came here for services. I love that that feeling is coming back. I feel like there's sort of this renewed energy to celebrate that past while bringing in a new generation of people that live here.
For me personally, it's been great because I've been able to grow my business here and have support of small businesses around, and the Marion Chamber has been very helpful and supportive, and the community has been supportive. You can walk anywhere in Uptown Marion and find great shops and restaurants and something to enjoy.
We very intentionally developed a strategy that, whether it's our Chamber of Commerce, our Economic Development Group, our City of Marion, when you see us working together, that we act and look like one team. And that's a very unique thing. We travel to communities all the time that those public and private partners are not on the same page. And so I really think that's a competitive advantage for our community in that we are aligned. We continue to strive to remain aligned. And I think that creates the best environment for our businesses, for our citizens, and for anyone that has the opportunity to really experience Marion.
And the work that we're doing jointly with all of our metro communities, to think of getting all of those people all in the same room and going in the same direction is really pretty impressive. And we really have come a long way in working together. There's just so many benefits, and we'll continue to prosper from those benefits.
10 or 15 years ago, we realized that, there wasn't a lot to do in Marion. Now Marion has increased so much of their activities, and we try to attend so many of them. And another thing that I like about it, they always look for the people of Marion's input. Yeah. They listen.
We have engaged a majority of the community who were basically just sleeping here and doing everything elsewhere. Since we've engaged them and gotten them interested, and they've been a part of the progress, people feel ownership in what's going on. And so that's why it's turned into this community-wide effort of moving the city forward.
Everyone has a common goal to make this a great place to live. There's nowhere to go but up. It's great. The energy is fantastic.
Across our city, there are currently more than 30 active commercial sites under construction. In 2022, the Chamber of Commerce and Metco combined organized 36 groundbreakings and ribbon-cutting ceremonies. From retail and services to warehouse development, investors, business owners, and service providers are recognizing that we are an underserved community. They're doing the math and choosing to reach higher in Marion. A perfect example of this is when both major hospital systems in the metro announced in the same week that they each plan to build 24-hour emergency medical facilities in Marion. These are no doubt smart business moves, and they also help us to better serve Marion's growing population by providing convenient access to emergency room services right here in our community. Now, small businesses are the backbone of Marion's economy, and we know that many were negatively impacted by the pandemic. In 2022, we lent a helping hand with our Business Innovation and Support Grant Program, funded with $400,000 from Marion's American Rescue Plan Act allocation, and administered by the Marion Chamber of Commerce. 31 Marion businesses that demonstrated innovation and potential for growth received grants ranging from $5,500 to $15,500. We were so pleased to support so many existing businesses to help them continue being part of Marion's success story. It felt great to hand out those checks, and we had a little fun in the process. When we talk about economic development, we can't ignore the impact of Prospect Meadows Sports Complex, which is shaping up to be one of the most impactful drivers of tourism and economic activity, not only in Marion, but in our entire region. Hot off the press is their 2022 Economic Impact Study, which shows encouraging results. From March through October of last year, Prospect Meadows hosted 958 travel teams from 19 states and generated 127,000 visits to the complex. Of those visitors, 54.2% were from places outside of Iowa, another 16,000 in-state overnight visitors, and 4,000 in-state day trip visitors. That's significant impact. The data shows that spending last year by Prospect Meadows visitors infused nearly $11.1 million into our local economy. That's restaurants, shops, entertainment venues, and of course hotels throughout Linn County and Johnson County. It's racked up more than 24,000 room nights. 2023 is expected to be even better. Clearly, Prospect Meadows is poised to be a game changer as a leading tourism and economic driver for Marion and the region, and that's definitely something to celebrate. Now, on the housing front, we're cognizant of the need to provide diverse housing as a key element of our promise of opportunity and high quality of life for all people. Our housing needs analysis completed last September showed a need for a variety of housing options, including more than 2,700 new general occupancy housing units and nearly 700 age-restricted and service-enriched housing units by 2030. Developers are addressing some of the need with 9 active subdivisions currently under development and more in the pipeline. Units abroad in Maine on 7th began leasing last fall, and several other multifamily projects are making their way toward completion, including Green Park Apartments at the site of the former YMCA and the Boulevard Apartments, which has changed the landscape at the city's front door. We expect 250 new rental units to come online in the next 12 to 18 months. And we recently received word that 3 proposed Marion housing projects were awarded a combined $7.5 million in derecho CDBG housing grants from the state of Iowa, helping those projects to advance and add more living options in our town. It's fitting to acknowledge the partnership that we have with the Marion Chamber and Marion Economic Development Corporation, as well as Uptown Marion. We appreciate the value they add in their role as part of our city's economic development team and all the programs and initiatives they pursue to build a strong, collaborative, vibrant business environment. When a developer comes to the city with a project, we assemble the team and everyone plays a role and does their part. Marion benefits because we're all working together and rowing in the same direction. As I've said often, one hand cannot clap alone. I'm grateful to our partners and their respective boards for their collaboration as part of Team Marion and the work they do to serve Marion's businesses and help us build a vibrant community. Now, we continue to make progress on our promise to build a welcoming and inclusive community where all people feel safe and valued and where all people belong and are able to contribute and add value. Inclusivity is inherent in everything that we do. The opportunities we're creating are for all people. Our new library is about access for all people. We're in the business of serving all people and making Marion a place where they find opportunities for themselves and their families to thrive. In the past 2 years, we've been implementing recommendations of our Equity and Inclusion Task Force. Even before these recommendations, our police department policies were reviewed and revised to guard against improper use of force, mandate de-escalation techniques, and prioritize safety. Our mental health liaison program is yielding positive results, and we continue to work with our civil rights consultant on employee training and reviewing city policies. Training in the past year has focused on topics like diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Employees have learned about intercultural competence, implicit bias, and having difficult conversations about race. We've also invested $1.2 million in a new records management system, which went live in February. This system will enhance our ability to collect and analyze real-time data related to traffic stops, arrests, and seizures. With this data, we'll be able to allocate resources and make policy decisions based on current data and facts that are specific to Marion, and we'll be able to better gauge our progress over time in equitable policing. In addition, the Marion Civil Rights Commission and city staff are currently leading development of a joint equity statement between the city, both school districts, and community partners. Our focus on serving all people and giving them a great quality of life is a central feature of our current trajectory of growth and prosperity. But to sustain this trajectory and deliver fully on our promises over the long term, our city must operate at maximum capacity. To that end, our team is consistently striving to better ourselves so that we can achieve the most for Marion's residents. Of course, we're not without issues and challenges, but I like to say we're growing up as a city. This means with every project, with every initiative, and every decision even, we're learning how to make better decisions and improving how we do things, and we're becoming more effective in managing the increasing complexity of work and challenges that come with serving a fast-growing population of more than 43,000 people. In 2022, we completed a long overdue update to our zoning maps and finally adopted the citywide design standards, something I'd been pushing for, that established minimum requirements for quality and aesthetics in commercial construction to improve curb appeal and catalyze even more high-quality investment in our town. We're refining our processes, and now we have a clearer roadmap for where we're headed. Our decisions are expert-informed and data-driven, and our work plans are aligned with the strategic plan and regular input through community surveys. We can now tie our decisions to the priorities and preferences of Marion's residents, and then ultimately that's the true measure of our success, serving Marion's residents with well-founded decisions, investing in their priorities and giving them the opportunities and quality of life they desire. Friends, I hope you're as thrilled about our progress as I am. Together as one team Marion and this entire community, we're creating something special, a city unlike any other, and a city that is recognized as a place where people want to be and celebrated with a string of awards and recognitions each year. Most recently, the city manager and I were delighted to share Marion's success story with a national audience in the inaugural issue of City and Commerce magazine. Copies of Marion's feature story are at your table. And just one more example out of many that bears special note. See, our fire station is drawing attention for its design with a string of statewide, regional, national, and international recognitions, including this book, Contemporary Architecture, Masterpieces Around the World. Only 16 projects from across America are featured in this book, and our fire station is one of them. There it is. And this week, the latest edition of Architectural Record hit the streets. As I've been told, this publication is the preeminent worldwide publication for architects for 125 years. The March edition features 5 projects from Zurich, Milan, Nova Scotia, San Francisco, and Marion, Iowa. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Now, awards and recognitions are a nice endorsement of our work, but their significance is that they reflect a truly awesome community and the people who make it so special. The true face of Marion is seen in the 100 high school students who showed up in 20-degree weather last fall to put on a parade for a resident celebrating her 100th birthday. And in the volunteers who log thousands of hours annually to care for our historic cemetery, tend to community gardens, serve on boards and commissions, and help special needs kids play baseball, or do whatever is needed to make Marion a better place. The specialness of Marion is seen in the dozens of fun community events each year, from Dog Fashion Show and Oktoberfest to Eat, Drink, and Be Marion, and free concerts in the City Square, Law Park, and the Artway. And from fireworks and fireflies to the Christmas tree lighting that resembled a scene from a Hallmark movie. Community shines brightly in Marion. Indeed, we have much to celebrate. So back to the question I asked at the beginning, are we there yet? Let's see what Marion's residents have to say.
Yeah, you don't even have to put my name in. You can say Lloyd and Lloyd's mom.
Say hi.
Can you wave at it?
Well, gosh, I go way back when I thought that tumbleweeds were going to blow around Marion, and there's been a lot of good people involved in the remake of this community. It's a destination place.
Things are just happening in Marion. It's exciting for a young person to come back and be a part of it.
Well, I love Marion because it's a great community, it's a growing community, and there's a lot of things to do.
And there's always something going on, and I appreciate that, having 4 daughters. So we're always able to go to one of the parks or one of the events around town.
I myself own a small business, so seeing the growth and development of Marion and opportunities for small business has a lot to do with what I love about Marion.
It's not a big city, it's not a small town, it's just Marion. And that's why I like it. It's got a unique flavor, friendly people, something for everyone, but it's also somewhere for everyone.
I think I just fell in love with the people in the community because they were so welcoming.
We take care of our neighbors and take care of our own.
I always have to talk about the Parks Department and the Forestry Department because I think they've just done a great job recovering from the derecho.
Trail development, particularly the last several years, has just been tremendous.
I love that I have places like Zoe's that give me memories, but it's also great to see the new additions.
Just in Marion in general, you guys have like an Ohana place, you've got a Hipster, you've got Mix, you've got all these different great restaurants to eat at.
I hear there's a dog show, a fashion dog show. So I think Lloyd's definitely super excited to take part in that and show off his strut his stuff.
Events where you can see some music and different entertainment. And they also got the new library. We checked that out, right? They got the new library out there. Too good. They got the slide.
Oh yeah, the slide.
They got the slide.
I forgot about that.
They also have a recording studio in there. So I thought that was pretty unique.
I've heard at 315 that place turns into a great hangout for all of the middle school students in particular, which is great because they offer so many wonderful opportunities for students.
It's a great place to go and just to study and even just talk and have coffee. Like, there's no rule against just going to the library for fun. So I think that's a good thing for people my age.
We're in our 20s now, but as we grow up, it's going to be a great place to raise our family, to grow old here too, with all the support that there is in the community.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You like it too, huh?
Everybody knows that whatever it is, we have it.
It's incredible. Marion is my home.
The feelings expressed in the video aren't selective or unique. Our 2022 community survey revealed high customer satisfaction. 92% of residents rated Marion as an either excellent or good place to live, and the same percentage rated Marion as an excellent place to raise a family. 90% gave their city high marks for quality of life and said they'd recommend Marion to others. And in an era of declining trust in government, Marion's residents increased their confidence in their city government by 9%. For many of us in this room, it feels incredible to be at this moment. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has listened to us, believed in our vision, allowed us the opportunity to share our story, and come alongside us and invested in the vision, reached higher with us. It takes everyone, and many in this room have, and we are grateful. If you're helping us to drive the vision, we're grateful to you. You know, we've been at this for many, many years. As far back as 20 years ago, at least in my experience, we began as a group of young people in their 20s and 30s meeting at Mr. Bean's every Thursday. We met every week, and then we slowly expanded the group to others. We formed friendships. We dreamt about what our town can and should be. We worked to get on steering committees, boards and commissions, city council, focus groups, and we infused the same message of doing better, reaching higher from every angle. And it was a consistent message of reaching higher. Long before reaching higher was our motto. I recall sitting in Metco board meetings, the youngest person in the room, right after the city purchased the railroad right-of-way, and telling the much more seasoned community leaders in the room that we can't squander the opportunity. We can't waste this chance to redevelop the Central Corridor in a more meaningful way. And after that, going to talk to Marion Iron about possibly relocating, and when they did, insisting that we needed to have a hotel there. And the developer saying, I don't think we're going to be able to do it. We can't build a hotel here. I said, try harder. And here we have it, and you see the development that has grown all around it. Others did the same thing, and from within the city organization and from without. Our vision was encapsulated in that guest column that mentioned by the city manager in the video, which I wrote for the Marion Times newspaper in January 2009. Here are just a few excerpts from that article. Cities around us are trying to create areas with character. We hear about branding and lifestyle developments. Could Uptown Marion become that lifestyle development? I think we can. We already have what other cities are trying to create. We just need to build on it. Marion has the potential to become a premier destination in this metro for housing, entertainment, culture, and dining. We're competing for talent in a global market, and we need to invest in creating the physical structures and spaces that tell people at first sight this is a cool place. Both private and public sectors need to understand how important this issue is and start investing together in the curb appeal of this community. Momentum is building, and the city has hired a consulting company to put together master designs for the central corridor that will incorporate streetscape, design standards, and hopefully potential for some significant projects that can make Marion a destination and transform Marion from a bedroom community to the living room of this metro area. The community visioning initiative was mentioned in the article also, and the article said we're taking a proactive approach and doing the necessary things for our great city to become even better and achieve its full potential. But nothing can happen without us, the citizens and business community. It requires our commitment and support, our enthusiasm and openness to new ideas. It requires us to say why not, and most importantly, it demands that we as a community believe in the potential of our city. These are just a few bits and pieces of that article, January 15th, 2009. And all of that remains relevant today. We're still saying the same things. We're still using the same language. Think of all that has been accomplished since 2009. We've seen a lot of change, but the most impactful change is the outlook of the community, which now believes more in its own potential. This is the fuel that powers our trajectory. So are we there yet? I think we're just getting started. So fasten your seatbelts. It would be easy to become content and rest on our accomplishments. That's not the Marion way. We could declare good enough, but the reality is that good enough never is. Continued progress is our destiny, and indeed our only option if we're serious about our mission of serving people and providing the best quality of life. We have taken this city from a place of limited opportunity to a place of boundless potential. Let's not waste that potential. Now is our chance to be bold and visionary. Now is our chance to do it the right way. It's our chance to maximize and pursue the best in everything we do. So let's keep reaching higher and moving forward. The future is bright, and the sky is truly not the limit. Thank you again for joining us today. God bless.
Well, thank you very much for your remarks. They were truly inspiring. One of the key questions at my desk, or my table, I do have a desk, but it's not here, at my table was about the timeline for your capital campaign. So when can we expect to start seeing some key progress with the new destination in Marion?
So we'll start construction in late spring, hopefully, as I believe. We'll take donations anytime. You're talking about the capital campaign or the project?
The capital campaign, what do you have a timeline for that, and the project? Obviously, they're related.
Okay, so I'm not sure of the exact timeline for the capital campaign, but we're starting today. As far as how long it goes, I guess until we have the money.
Okay. Well, if you didn't see it, this is what's on your table, so you can get more information, and I assume you can also find that out on the website. While I was seated at my table, I also received a text message You've got an inquiry about one of the donations already. Governor Tim Walz, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's the governor of Minnesota. He wanted to know if they could name the ice rink. No?
We'll let Sarah handle that one.
Okay. Well, I think we're just about out of time here,
Okay.
so we won't be able to take some questions, but I think your presentation was so thorough and very clearly the state of the city of Marion
It's in good shape.
in good shape, but apparently you can still reach higher. So with that, everyone, go back to your
Thank you.
desks
Thank you.
and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Mayor Nick. Thank you, everyone.